She wanted I like the keys so I could walk away. I said, let's just take a breather and let's not go anywhere. Let's just calm down for a minute because she was getting a little worked up. And then she had her phone and was trying to get the keys to her. So that way I was just trying to, I know I shouldn't push her, but I was just trying to push her away to go, let's just take a minute, step back and breathe. And she got me with her phone.
Brian appeared to be very calm, cool, and collected.
What was the disagreement about?
It was, I wouldn't even call it disagreement. It was just that I'm dirty and I can't change being dirty. Like I got dirty feet, I got sand in my flip-flops and stuff like that.
The fight itself, according to Brian, was because he had gotten the back of the van dirty, and that's something that was really important to Gabby, was to keep their very small, very tight living space clean.
Gabby didn't have the OCD where everything had to have its, an exact way. She wanted she wanted things clean.
It was her artistic vision. She wanted to see things in her artistic vision.
When people talk about, yes, if she had a vision in her head for her art or the way she wanted to have something look, that's one thing. But she wanted things clean.
In the Instagram and YouTube posts that Gabby was putting out, the van was in perfect shape. It was very carefully maintained. And then during that body cam footage, we get this glimpse inside the back of the van, and it's really in a state of chaos. And I think that was a sort of a peek behind the veil of the sort of Insta-perfect life that they were portraying.
Is there something on your cheek here? Looks like, did you get hit in the face? Kind of looks like something like hit you in the face. And then over on your arm, shoulder, right here. That's new, huh? It's kind of a new mark.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Can I see the other side of your face? So, what happened here and here?
I'm not sure. It was a. I was trying to get in the back of the car. His backpack was on the back.
So the backpack got you? So there's two people that came to us and told us that they saw him hit you. There's two people saying that they saw him punch you. We're just independent witnesses by Moonflower.
Well, to be honest, I definitely hit him first.
Where'd you hit him?
I slapped him.
You slapped him first? And then what, just on his face?
He just kind of just shut up.
How many times did you slap him?
Just a couple.
And then what? And his reaction was to do what?
Slap him.
He just grabbed you?
Yeah.
Did he hit you though? I mean, it's okay if you're saying you hit him, and then I understand if he hit you, but we want to know the truth if he actually hit you.
I guess, yeah, but I hit him first.
Where did he hit you? Don't worry, just be honest.
He grabbed my face, I guess.
But the interesting piece of this is that she actually took responsibility, saying, no, she had struck Brian first, that then he responded by hitting her, and then she downplays that. Oh, it was really just grabbing my face.
One of the things that the state legislature doesn't give us discretion on is charges when it comes to a domestic assault. And it sounds like you guys are living together, so you meet the statute for domestic partners, and you do have injury, and your own companion have made it clear that she was the primary aggressor and that she was striking you and that you received injuries. So at this point, you're the victim of a domestic assault. That even if you didn't want to pursue this, we don't have a choice.
And I feel like that's almost what threw things off a little bit, is all of a sudden we're watching this and she's the one saying, no, I started it. No, I'm the one who hit him first, when the original 911 call was because Brian had allegedly struck her.
Gabby, this is a very, very important question. How you answer this question is going to determine what happens next. But the only person who can answer this question is you. Think very hard before you answer the question. Do not quickly answer it. Think very hard. When you slapped him those times, were you attempting to cause him physical pain or physical impairment? Was that what you were attempting to do to him?
No.
What were you attempting to do? What was the reason behind the slapping and stuff? What was it you were attempting to accomplish by slapping?
I was trying to get him to stop telling me to come back.
That doesn't sound to me like she attempted to injure him. It's your call. This is 100% your call. I support you either way.
They decided, having spoken to both of them for about an hour, that the best thing to do was just to separate them for the night. And so they put Brian up in a hotel, and Gabby was able to stay with the van for the evening.
So I just want everybody to breathe, get the chance away from each other. Go eat a meal, talk to your parents, whatever it is you got to do. You know why the domestic assault code is there? It's there to protect people, especially the reason why they don't give us discretion on these things is because too many times women who are at risk want to go back to their abuser. They just wanted him to stop it. They don't want to have to be separated. They don't want him charged. They don't want him to go to jail. And then they end up getting worse and worse treatment, and then they end up getting killed.
It was so eerie, yeah, for him to say that. It really chills your bones.
It makes me sad, and I wanted to hug her. I think once the Moab video came out, you got to see a real human being behind. Everybody looks great on YouTube and Instagram, but people got to see, oh my gosh, she's a real person with feelings. And I think that touched everyone when they got to see that she was hurting. It's amazing how so many people could relate to her.
It was an absolutely viral video. And, this is also really where the internet detectives and all of this came in and started to dissect this video.
The internet went crazy.
This is a part of this story that is so weird to me, okay? That we have this moment where we see behind the scenes of their perfect Instagram van life.
She was just showing so many signs of a woman that has been severely gaslit emotionally.
First of all, there's a lot of conjecture around a cell phone.
I don't have my phone. I don't have a phone.
He clearly has a phone. He's seen using it outside in front of the officers in this exchange while Gabby is using her phone in the squad car.
It is literally 4 a.m. where I'm at, but I cannot sleep because this Gabby Petito situation.
Brian tells police that he doesn't really have a phone, and then he says he doesn't have a phone, which is like either you do or you don't, bro. It's one or the other.
There's just so many questions, and people really want answers, including me.
With social media, we found there's a lot of crazy bad stuff out there, but there's also a lot of good stuff that can come out of it. I always say it's like a blessing and a curse, but in this instance, it was a blessing for us. A lot more great stuff came out of it than bad.
They're incredible. The sleuths,
yeah,
the internet sleuths, they do a great job. They really do.
I think the hashtag Find Gabby hit like over 1 billion people. We saw it as an opportunity to help, get the word out there, and it did.
When we were looking for Gabby, what I would do, I would scour Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and Reddit, and YouTube to find clues or tips for the FBI. I'd screenshot them, and I probably slept about an hour a night at best. I didn't stop.
In addition to watching the news unfold about what was going on with the search for Gabby, they were also analyzing the posts on her social media.
The thing that stood out the most was Gabby's final post.
Gabby is holding a knit pumpkin in her hand, and the caption reads, "Happy Halloween," but it's August 25th. So it's interesting, right?
And so that was really alarming to people. They really didn't think she posted the image. They really didn't think that it was a recent photo of her either. And then alongside that, the caption, "Happy Halloween," made absolutely no sense. And so it left people scratching their heads and confused.
She didn't put any hashtags. She normally likes to hashtag her journey. And it was very short. And I think that it seemed suspicious.
On September 16th, the Northport Police Department held a press conference.
2 people went on a trip, 1 person returned, and that person that returned isn't providing us any information.
So we think Brian is holed up in this house with his parents, not coming out, and on the advice of their lawyer, they were not speaking with police as well. As a person of interest, Brian still was not obligated to talk to police.
A person of interest, what it means is that a person that is potentially a subject in an investigation, but that you don't have enough information to make that person into a chargeable person. So a person of interest is a person that will likely become a suspect, but is not currently a suspect.
He is the only person who was on this trip with her. He is the only person who is not talking right now about where she might be. He's not helping with the investigation. That is so suspicious.
We are pleading with people out there to give us information, point us in the direction that we need to be, and help us find Gabby.
The reporter explicitly asked, hey, do you guys know where Brian is? And the chief said, yeah, we do.
Do you know where Brian Laundrie is right now?
Yes.
They said they were respecting his rights. They were respecting his space as well.
The Fifth Amendment gives them the right not to talk and not to incriminate themselves. So under no circumstances are they going to be forced to talk.
My focus isn't to bring Brian in right now, it's to find Gabby. Brian is exercising his constitutional rights, and I have to respect that.
That time when we were looking for Gabby it's a blur. It's really like it.
It's horrific. The whole time we were trying to stay as positive as possible that we would find her.
All right, what I need from everybody here is help, because the goal is still not met, and that goal is to bring Gabby home safe. All right, and I'm asking for help from everyone here. I'm asking for help everyone at home. I'm asking for help from the parents of Brian, and I'm asking for help of the family members and friends of the Laundrie family as well. You know, there is a tip line that you can call anonymously. Whatever you can do to make sure my daughter comes home, I'm asking for that help.
Still in the back of your head, you know, that we wouldn't get a positive outcome. But we tried to still have, I think that's what we were working on. I think that's what was keeping us going, was our hope that we would find her.
Anything else, it comes second to this. Thank you.
We'll answer any follow-up questions. Thank you.
At that point, it was a search mission. And it was also so fascinating because I think the internet thought they were trying to help figure out a mystery.
I mean, this story it's gone viral in every aspect, from the investigation side of things to people like myself that have been helping out. I feel like I'm pretty proficient in audio-video software, specifically video software. So I would spend the better part of the night and the evening looking for clues. But there's a community of people that have all done the same thing. It's over-encompassing the amount of people involved in this case. It's mind-blowing.
I see a lot of videos being like, oh, why are people talking about Gabby Petito case so much? I think a lot of it has to do with maybe he did just leave her somewhere. Maybe he did just leave her and went home. Like, there is a chance she could still be alive. And I think people are trying to find her safe.
I thought maybe I could help find her. I'm really good at the internet. I set out my mission to see if I could find anything. I looked at hundreds of photos, zoomed in, seeing if it caught her van in the background.
The whole internet was obsessed with the case.
Even restaurants tagged images, stores.
A group of people and I were looking through Google images that were posted within a certain date period in Jackson Hole, which is where Gabby and Brian were spotted at a restaurant.
Anything I could find, I was looking. Wow, on this Gabby Petito case. So hear me out. Wait, I think I found something new. I kept thinking, They were hiking. They could be on trails. What are the trails? I found a trail app, all trails. Well, I found Gabby Petito's and all the trails she saved. I was like, this is crazy. She could be in this area, hoping people locally would go look or, volunteers. And then I passed it on to the FBI as well. So here we go. Grand Teton Park, Coulter Bay. Now here we go.
No matter where you go, there's always people, there's always pictures being taken. So you're truly never alone. And
now, starts north of Coulter Bay, goes way up into the middle of nowhere. I was hoping he left her somewhere and people could find her. Maybe she was lost. That's what I was hoping for.
On the morning of September 17th, I went to Northport outside the Brian Laundrie house, and it was just chaotic.
Arrest Brian! Arrest Brian! Arrest Brian! Bring Gabby home! Where's Gabby? Laundrie! Where's Gabby? Where's Gabby?
We had residents, we had people really from all over the state of Florida in front of the Laundrie home just yelling, hey, Brian, speak to police, tell us what's going on. Everyone believed that he was inside of that house alongside with his parents.
I was there for the better part of the day until the police started showing up. Us reporters, there's a gang of us outside the house. We're standing around.
Where is Gabby?
We were all so confused. We didn't know what was going on. We thought that the police were going to bring Brian out in handcuffs.
Where's Gabby? Where's Gabby?
And, people were yelling and they had signs. And it was just a circus outside of the Laundrie house. It was like the scene out of a movie. It was so much noise.
Where's Gabby? Where's Gabby?
You see a couple of police officers leave. And we then find out that his parents were there talking to officers because they were filing a missing person report. So Brian was not in the house like we had thought. He was gone.
I thought I couldn't be more surprised after that. Then the revelation that he had been missing 4 days before and that they had waited 4 days to call the police and tell them.
You think it can't get more weird. No, it gets weirder.
It's Optimum's best holiday deal ever.
Brian is now missing. The internet went crazy.
The mother lover is missing.
How did Brian leave his parents' house without nobody seeing him?
When I found out about this information, I was just kind of like, what the hell is this all about?
I find it so crazy that all of a sudden they're saying that Brian Laundrie is a missing person as well. He's not a suspect.
How does he get away? How? You have him home at his house with his parents. He's there, and he gets away. He could have gotten away any other time, but he's right there. It was crazy.
When Chris and Roberta Laundrie did eventually tell authorities that their son was missing, they said he'd gone to the Carlton Reserve.
The 24,000-acre preserve is about the size of Manhattan, to put it in perspective. And so you have a starting point for Brian to look for him. It is the difficulty of this area being flooded that makes this into a very difficult case. There are wild boar, there are alligators, there are snakes, there are all kinds of dangers there that made it difficult for law enforcement to operate in that environment.
So we later learned that Roberta Laundrie drove Brian's Mustang back to the family home, and it was at that point that one of the surveillance team from Northport Police saw Mrs. Laundrie, thought it was Brian Laundrie returning to the family home, and so they were under the mistaken belief that Brian was at home.
But, people want to know, where is Brian, and can we get him to tell us what happened?
From a social media standpoint, it amped up. They really, really wanted to find Brian.
It seems like the more and more social media dives into this case, the odd, eerie facts continue to come out.
Everybody wanted answers. Everybody's thirsty for answers.
I'm gonna keep y'all updated on everything going on. This case has my full attention, you guys.
They're using their spare time and their passion for this to, try to help.
I thought, well, you know what? Maybe this is going to work. Maybe, someone's going to come up with a clue. I was not prepared for the type of clue that happened along the way.
Y'all, look at this. It's the freaking Tetons. It's been on our bucket list forever. I know it's been on this.
The Bethunes are a family from the Tampa area.
Yeah, I mean, without the smoke, it would be like even more spectacular, but
They're also a van life family. They have a couple of kids, a couple of dogs, a little bit of bigger van, obviously, to hold this family. But they were on a similar track.
let's keep driving to our spot, Captain Kyle.
The Bethune family had been travelling through the Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming on 27 August.
They were also in the Grand Tetons at the exact same time, and they had a dash cam. And then all of a sudden, it struck the owner of that YouTube channel, and she was like, hey, I think I saw that van. So she went back, took a closer look, and there it was.
On August 27th, 2021, we got camera footage going through the Grand Tetons Park around 6 to 6:30 p.m.
When the YouTube video came out with Gabby's van, I was like, oh my gosh.
As we're coming up on it, we're approaching it up here on the left-hand side. This is most definitely Gabby Petito's Ford Transit van. Here it is on the left.
But the fact that they drove through at that time, at that day, at that precise moment, and just happened to hit record, it's like, wow. Immediately, everyone across the internet, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, even TikTok, were deciphering this video. I was as well, looking at it. What could you see? What could you not see?
If you look in the far left, there's a little bit of a shadow. So somebody thinks someone's digging there.
So I zoomed in on the screen recording where people are thinking that they see somebody digging on the video.
Here, let me just highlight this. Right here, okay, is where they think that it's a shadow of someone digging.
There's a lot of things going around, all kinds of weird conspiracy theories. So I took that film, I got the 4K version, and I went through my software to start debunking these theories. Putting the film inside of the software helped me slow things down, really clearly show that what people were saying was happening wasn't actually happening. But when I zoomed in to see that, I saw something new. I was able to go through and blow it up and work my magic to stabilize it and essentially enhance the footage. But when I zoomed in, I saw the door close. It completely blew my mind and sent a chill up my spine. When I saw that, I instantly knew that there was life in that van.
I watched that video of the van and seeing the door closing like probably 100 times. I was like, oh my, I really believe that was Gabby closing the door in the van. So I just kept watching it. I don't know.
The law enforcement agencies were already in that area searching, but it just basically helped them pinpoint the site where the van was.
And that was a giant break. And I know that the FBI were tipped off to that location, and that's why they started their grid search. That was massive.
I think everybody was still at that point in time holding on to a little bit of hope that maybe it was an accident or something happened. She disappeared. She's hiding.
I was in Wyoming when they were looking for Gabby. It struck me pretty quickly that it was unlikely that she was just lost. It could be 80 degrees in the middle of the afternoon, but at night, it got as cold as 27 degrees. You know, it was a very big temperature swing, and I just can't imagine anyone being able to survive that without the proper camping gear, you know, without shelter.
So a body has been found in the area that they were searching for Gabby Petito. Now I can't say if this is Gabby or not, but if it is, it makes me really sad because I was really hoping by chance they could find her alive.
Earlier today, human remains were discovered consistent with the description of Gabby Petito. Full forensic identification has not been completed to confirm 100% that we found Gabby, but her family has been notified of this discovery.
So when Gabby was found, you know, there still was some testing that needed to be done, but based on the stuff that she was wearing, we were confident in what was being said to us and what was being relayed to us.
You still don't want to believe it. You still don't want to hear it. Your body goes in complete and utter shock that you're hearing this information, and it's like your whole world is destroyed.
The hope goes away.
The hope.
First and foremost, on behalf of the FBI personnel and our partners, I would like to extend sincere and heartfelt condolences to Gabby's family.
Even though I knew I was going to get the call, I just didn't want to get the call.
Once they discovered Gabby's body in Wyoming, the focus of the story then immediately turned to Brian. Where is Brian Laundrie? And is he going to get arrested? And that definitely changed the tone of the story.
This is the sound of a gift that keeps it simple.
The anger just from the public, it was all pointed towards Brian's parents.
There were journalists camped outside the front of the house trying to get answers, being stonewalled by the Laundrie parents.
The FBI is on a manhunt for Brian Laundrie. To search the terrain in some place like the Carlton Reserve is so difficult. The number one thing you need is manpower. You need the proper vehicles, and drones are crucial in this case because they have special devices that can be used to track things like heat of a human.
There were multiple canine units from surrounding police departments that all came into Northport in order to conduct this search. ATVs, swamp buggies, more vehicles than I could name were coming in and out of the park. And you could tell it was one of those efforts where they were going to search every single corner of it, no matter what. They were also focused on those walking trails very close to the entrance of the park that Brian was known to go.
Brian was very upset when he left, and Chris conveyed to me several times that, he wished he didn't let him go, but he couldn't stop him. Brian is a grown man, young man, 22 years old. He wanted to walk out the door. He was entitled to walk out the door.
On Sunday, Gabby's body was discovered in Wyoming. By Monday morning, the FBI was at the Laundrie home. Tuesday is when we learned it was indeed Gabby's body and that she died by homicide. It was shocking, you know? It was like a crescendo of incidents.
Yeah. It's still unbelievable. I don't understand it.
Yeah. It's,
It doesn't make sense.
I have no words for it.
I know that I speak for myself and the entire world that's watching when I say this, that I wish we would have had a better outcome.
We all pretty much knew this is what they were going to say. Now they need to find Brian. And I hate to say this, but I hope he's alive and well, so he can suffer in jail for the rest of his life.
We have some huge breaking news in the Gabby Petito case. The FBI issued a federal arrest warrant for Brian Laundrie.
But it's not for homicide, it's for bank fraud.
10 minutes to air. We're all out there, we're reading the bulletin from the FBI and realizing it's for transaction of roughly $1,000 that Brian used on someone else's bank card.
We found out that from Stephen Bertolino, the Laundrie lawyer, that it was Gabby's bank account that Brian had used.
This is not the charge that you're chasing Brian for. You want to get Brian for the murder of his fiancée, Gabby. But in the meantime, this is a legal device that can be used to be able to secure future arrest warrants or secure future search warrants.
He's wanted on a federal arrest warrant, and they'd be able to detain him. So this was really meant, I think, to help rev up the search.
After that federal warrant was issued for Brian's arrest, social media went into overdrive.
Looking for Brian, pouring through his Pinterest accounts, his Spotify playlists, anything really to search for signs about where he might be.
When an Instagram Live was made for 3 seconds, all you saw was someone in a boat in a body of water. They all speculated that that was Brian. He's on the run and he's taunting people.
He appeared on Instagram Live accidentally for 2 to 3 seconds, and viewers saw water as if he were on a boat.
The internet erupted. Social media went crazy.
2 seconds in a boat surrounded by water.
If you go live, doesn't it show you where you are? So my gut tells me tonight this guy's going to be found.
There was someone sitting there, clearly afoot, with a camo Croc shoe. And people were saying, oh, well, was this a sign that Brian Laundrie's still alive? This is fake. I know it's fake, and I'm going to find it. I have to find the original. If you guys want to know where that screen recording of Brian Laundrie on the boat actually came from, I'll tell you. It didn't come from Brian. I found the original videos from a TikToker from Florida from 2020. Someone had taken just a little snippet of the video and used that to claim it was Brian Laundrie on a boat. Brian Laundrie did not accidentally go live. There's multiple buttons you have to press to do that.
It's quite possible that they are just posting these videos to get more viewers.
I've learned 2 things from this. Social media can help, but it can also hurt with rumors and false accusations and things like that. They're not sorry for what they do. People believe it, they fall for it because everyone wants, something crazier out of this. It has to get crazier. People like that.
On September 26, before Gabby's remains were even able to be brought back to New York, her family held a memorial service for her. And it was a very touching ceremony. They put it out on a live link so people could watch.
Gabby is the most amazing person I've ever met. So if you're going to leave here today, I'm asking that you guys be inspired by the way she treated people. All people.
You had people turning up to the memorial who didn't know Gabby but just felt a connection to her. You had people tuning in online who really needed to grieve, who really felt connected to her and to this tragic case.
It was a beautiful day. The funeral home did a great job, and all of the people that came out supported us. It was amazing. It was a really, really beautiful tribute to her life.
If there's a trip that you guys want to take it now. Do it now while you got the time. If there's a relationship that you're in that might not be the best thing for you, leave it now.
Get out. Get out before it's too late. I mean, you can't help but wonder if he was directly referring to, Gabby's situation.
After Gabby's memorial, there was an intense feeling of frustration among the public about where is Brian Laundrie. We'd seen the body cam footage from Moab. There was just an intense desire among the public for answers.
They said Gabby died by homicide fairly quickly after her body was discovered, but we never knew how she died. We had to wait 3 weeks for that information.
The Teton County Coroner Office is following the following verdict in the death of Gabrielle Lenora Petito. We hereby find the cause and manner of death to be the cause, death by strangulation, and manner is homicide. Her body was outside in the wilderness for 3 to 4 weeks.
He wouldn't say much during that announcement, citing state laws. He wouldn't answer big questions like what state was her body in.
But at the end, he slips. Somebody asks him, "You've done missing person cases before. Have you ever dealt with a case that has received this much media attention?"
Unfortunately, this is only one of many deaths around the country of people who are involved in domestic violence.
He characterizes this as a domestic violence case. He doesn't say who did it, but, the internet went crazy.
Just a warning, this information could definitely be triggering to some.
The coroner, most of the time, won't give their own thoughts and interpretations of the results of their work, but this coroner did.
Now we know some big pieces. Finally.
There were criminal charges against Brian Laundrie. He used Gabby Petito's credit card, but he was not a criminal suspect in the case of her death at that point.
Right after this news conference ended, we were emailed a copy of the determination of death, and it was actually manual strangulation / throttling. It's a very violent and personal death. To hear that she had died in this horrible and very personal way, I think really hurt a lot of people.
The mood really just changed to who did it and why is there no suspect? Why is there no arrest warrant? Why are there no charges? Really, everyone was thinking only Brian can provide the answers.
Haywood County 911, what's the location of your emergency?
People are saying that they saw Brian everywhere. And when you constantly hear that he's in this state and in that state, it becomes chaotic.
People thinking he could be in the Appalachian Trails, he could be in Mexico, he could be in Canada.
He was acting funny. And I'm 99.99% sure that was him.
Everyone thought that they were seeing Brian Laundrie somewhere.
There was a sighting of him at a Walmart in Tillman's Corner in Alabama.
There's a lot of people that look like Brian Laundrie.
I don't personally think that Brian is in the Carlton Reserve where they've been searching. I think that that was a diversion.
But there was some information they had that kept sending them back to the reserve. Every day, the search would go on for hours, and we'd be out there waiting, and they would find nothing, like literally not one piece of evidence. And so a lot of us were questioning, why do they keep going back to this reserve?
We just have to believe that they know what they're doing.
So the manhunt continues. Let's just all hope that this guy is brought in alive.
On October 19th, part of the reserve was open to the public for the first time since this all began. That marked an end to a chapter in the story. They've been searching this place for more than a month. They haven't been able to find anything. They're going to open it to the public now. What I wasn't prepared for was the day after it was opened, that Chris and Roberta Laundrie, while searching with the FBI, found some of Brian's belongings, his backpack and a notebook.
And it was quite soon after that that the human remains were located.
According to the Laundrie attorney, Brian's parents alerted the FBI last night they wanted to search the park, met them here this morning, and then went to a trail where they found Brian's belongings.
Almost within half an hour to an hour, they had located Brian's backpack.
And late this afternoon, Northport police clarified exactly what they found. They described it as skeletal remains.
Earlier today, investigators found what appears to be human remains, along with personal items, such as a backpack and notebook belonging to Brian Laundrie. I know you have a lot of questions, but we don't have all the answers yet.
Is it him? Is it not him? Too many speculations.
It is crazy. If this is in fact him, I mean, there's so many people confirming it. Why would his parents go there if it wasn't? All this kind of stuff, right?
The remains that they retrieved from the reserve match the dental records of Brian Laundrie, and that's how they were able to confirm.
I see Twitter going like crazy. It has been confirmed the human remains that they found are indeed Brian Laundrie.
Brian Laundrie is no more. And for a lot of people, this is a relief.
That was probably one of the oddest days in my career thus far. The Laundrie show up, crack of dawn, to the very same park that his Mustang was parked at now over 4 weeks ago, going back in once again to look for their son, and this just happens to be the time that they find an item belonging to him in a place that had already been searched many, many times.
You telling me that all of these trained professionals could not find any of this stuff, but the father just so happened went to the exact place where Brian Laundrie was and found his bag?
Everyone is like, how the heck could the parents find these things when the FBI police have been searching?
Back in September, the reserve was 75% covered in water. When Roberta and Chris Laundrie returned to that park, in that very spot, the water had receded considerably.
They said he had gone to hike trails there. These were trails that he was familiar with.
So that's why they were able to find his belongings and then his partial human remains.
The items that were located today perhaps couldn't be seen. We're not just saying it. I'm not just saying it. The FBI is saying it. Everyone is saying it. And yet these platforms are still running amok with these ludicrous and I have to say, nonsensical theories of the parents planting things there. I mean, enough is enough. The Laundries have been cooperating with law enforcement, both locally and federally, since day one with respect to Brian.
So the notebook may be the key. It could tell us what went through Brian Laundrie's mind, what his actions were, why he did what he did. It could provide a confession. That confession will lock him into the crime, but we may never know exactly what was in there.
I really don't know what justice for Gabby looks like at this point. The one person who probably knows what happened and why she died is dead.
This is tragic, but I will tell you, this tragedy brings us all together. And the end result is one team, one family working to bring closure. Again, our thoughts and prayers are with the family members, and it's tragedy. Thank you.
You cannot try a dead person. So there is no case that is going to be brought forward against Brian Laundrie in this matter. If there's no criminal investigation, there's no criminal prosecution in this case that is going to be brought forward. For the most part, this case is in reality ended.
Okay, so it's just been confirmed that the cause of death is a gunshot wound to the head, and the manner of death is suicide. This is in relation to Brian Laundrie.
This case was one of those things that just, it was crazy from the beginning, from the get-go. But there it is. But there's more questions, right? Where's the gun? Where is the gun? I mean, they told us everything else they found. Why did they say we found a gun as well? Why didn't they say that? Why are they not able to get anything from the notebook? Like, where's that update? Is this the end of the case for Gabby?
We may never know why, now that they're both dead. We may never know why this happened and why it had to end this tragically.
Gabby's story got a lot of attention, and everyone deserves a lot of attention, especially if they go missing.
I want Gabby's legacy to prevent this from happening to someone else, even if it's just one. That's something. That's a lot.
We received a tremendous outpouring of support from our community, from our friends, our family, from people across the world. And we were very lucky to have that. And we want to be able to use the platform that we made for Gabby as that voice for other people.
It's amazing how many people have reached out to us, either saying their story or in how Gabby inspired them to leave in an abusive relationship. It makes you feel like that her light did reach the world. Her light, her bright, beautiful light touched a lot of people.
You see how much the planet has come together for Gabby. So we should do that for others too. Because everybody deserves to feel safe at home. Everybody deserves to be found that is missing. Everyone.
It makes me proud of her that she put herself out there and everybody fell in love with her. And I am just really proud of her. Her and her legacy are going to do so much to help everyone.
I miss seeing her. I miss hugging her. I miss calling her. I miss hearing her say, I love you too.
Gabby Petito never goes outside.
I find myself watching that video that she had online just so I can hear her voice again.
10 is just coming in on me. The wind is so bad.
Just so we can hear her.